Today, we'll talk about an important question of why your husband left you and how to get him back. At the beginning of a relationship, when you first started dating, everything was great and he was madly in love with you. He brought you flowers and gifts and felt like there's no better place in the world than next to you. He called a lot and couldn't wait for the next time he saw you. What were the reasons for this? You gave him the emotions that he craved. You could almost say that your presence was vitally important to him. He was ecstatic when he was next to you. This is why he wanted to make a family with you. If your husband left or is planning to leave, the problem lies in the fact that the emotions he craves so much, the emotions that he used to feel, are no longer there when he's with you. This could have happened for several reasons. 1, your life together became too routine and there's no more excitement in it. 2, he used to feel these emotions even when you didn't try very hard. For example, you could have been just sitting next to each other, chatting about nothing important, and both of you felt happy. Now, he's bored when you do nothing and he needs more stimulation. Relationships need to be fed with novelty, new adventures, new hobbies, something that is pleasant to both people. If this doesn't happen, the relationship will worsen. In today's age, people are too busy with work and children, which leads to their mutual hobbies being set aside and life turning into a boring routine. We put ourselves into this trap. In these moments, your husband will start looking for those feelings that he used to get but no longer does from you. And he will likely turn to someone else for them. First, it will be friends, but then it may very well be a mistress. So to get your husband back, you need to understand the mistake you made in the relationship and fix them. I would like to recommend a great website where I found a lot of information on how to get a husband back. Take a look. exback.how/H. That's exback.how/H. You can influence a man using these psychological techniques in such a way that he will start chasing you himself, begging you to come back. Male psyche is quite simple. Men have special emotional buttons, pushing which you can easily get the result you want. So, to get him back, you just need to know what buttons to push. You also need to show him that you fixed what made him leave and that you will give him the emotions he's seeking. He will then want to be with you again and be as happy as he ever was. Let's take a look at the reasons why those women who used to be loved and cherished by their husbands stop being attractive to them. The first problem is the diminishing sex appeal, which can be related to the fact that the woman no longer takes care of herself, gained weight, and stopped caring about her appearance. You could say that from a blooming flower, she turned into dead wood. The man no longer likes looking at her and starts to peek at other women who are dressed well, have makeup on, and wear an expensive perfume. This is absolutely natural. If you don't take care of yourself and invest into your relationship, it will worsen. If this is what happened to you, you should simply take care of yourself. Dress up, sign up for a gym, or take salsa lessons. A woman who takes care of her body is much more attractive and feminine. The next reason why a wife can stop being sexually attractive to her husband is devaluation of herself. This happens when she does everything her husband wants, lives for him, and takes any treatment that he cares to show her. A man has to remain the hunter. On one hand, the woman he's with should be gentle, harmonious, and comfortable. But on the other, he needs to know that if he doesn't take care of her, doesn't make her happy, and treats her badly, he can lose her. If there's no motivation to behave well, why would anyone do it? People want to be with those who respect themselves. If you don't respect yourself and do everything your husband wants, if you forget about your own hobbies and interests, If you don't care about the image of the bright, happy, and interesting woman that once lured him in, then why would he value you? If you turn into a slave that does anything and everything for her master, the man becomes bored. He constantly needs to feel a game, some type of a drive, you might say. If he feels like his prey is no longer prey, but a sure thing, he will no longer be the hunter that he wants to be. This is a question of personal boundaries, boundaries that have to be set. He has to invest in you and your relationship, and you need to give him the conditions for such an investment. If a man stops investing, he stops valuing the woman he's with. A good motivation for a man is gratitude for his care and attention. A mistake many women make is telling the man that he doesn't do enough, that he needs to do more. For example, a woman may tell her husband that he's cheap if he gives her a gift for $30 instead of $500. In such a case, the man will no longer want to give any gifts because he wants to get a different reaction. If he doesn't see gratitude and appreciation, he'll give gifts to another woman who will act differently. The next mistake is very different. This is when, from a gentle, caring, and comfortable woman, the wife turns into a dominating and harsh fury. She tries to become the leader in the family, constantly telling her husband her point of view, arguing with him about everything, and trying to prove that she's right every step of the way. Often, such women are very successful at work or own their own business, but for their husband, they kill those qualities that a man needs to have to feel happy and successful. If you criticize the man, his friends, his career, and what he does, he will stop wanting to even try to be better. When you praise him, he wants to move mountains for you. When you nag him and suppress his ego, he will be uncomfortable and unhappy, and he may leave even if he loves you. It's very important for a man to feel needed, appreciated, and praised. He will always want to be with a woman who tells him how great, handsome, and successful he is. It depends on you if this will be his wife or mistress. With some women, men grow in their financial and personal success, while with others, they are stuck in one place. This is because some women admire men and marvel at their abilities, while others dominate. Did you want to be married to a puppet or a socially successful man? With the latter, you can relax because he will always solve any problems that may arise. It's easy to feel yourself a little girl next to a strong and successful man. If you have forgotten how to be this girl, it may lead you to disappointment. I'll just add a little bit about traditions and about the dowry that you may have received from the women in your immediate family. Don't do the same thing your parents did. Don't repeat their mistakes, no matter whether you think their marriage was happy or not. These models that you grew up with in your family and the models your husband grew up with in his can be very different. If you, for example, grew up without a father and your mother was a tyrant, it's horrible, mainly because you subconsciously absorbed this tyrannical model of behavior. Acting according to this model will not make your husband happy and keep him next to you. You need to look through the scenarios you may be constantly repeating, the scenarios you get from your parents, and control the need to fall into them. You can get more information on how to get your husband back on our site at the bottom of this page, or by watching my next video.